Well, good day. I wanted to point out I cut this onion about a day ago. Look at how it's trying to grow already from its center. So I'm going to pull this piece out and set it aside here with two other onions, one and two, that I have already growing in my onion box. But now these portions right here, I'm going to cut them up finely. But I'm going to just have to kind of trim them up a little bit. And yeah, we'll just get them all cut up, and I'm putting them up really finely for a breakfast. This is Good Friday. And so I'm just cutting these up to go into breakfast for George and I this morning. And I call her George. Her real name is Georgina, okay? Her parents called her Gina when she was little. So Dad, if you're watching, yep, I still call her Gina occasionally. She still knows who she is by name, ha ha ha. Anyway, Pete, I hope you're doing good on this Good Friday. And yeah, we give shout outs to all kinds of people. Jeff up at the airport. Hey, how are you doing, buddy? I don't know your wife's name, Jeff, or I would say hi to her too. And your kids, And, I just love to say hi to everybody on here if I can. Amy from down in Port Hope. Good morning to you on this Good Friday morning. And, JP up in Peterborough. Well-known celebrity, friend of ours. JP, I hope you're doing better. Not that you were doing badly, but I hope you're feeling a little better. My son Jake and Jennifer, his wife, and my granddaughters Amy and Sydney. Congratulations, Amy, on the house, by the way. I think that's great. She just bought her own house. And I'm going like, oh my God, I'm getting old because, my granddaughter is buying a house. Not that that makes you old, but, it's like, holy cow, things are moving on. Like, I remember when my son was buying his house with his wife, and, we were looking at several houses, and I said to, my wife that, this is like really wild that they're actually, buying a house. And, it's a big step in one's life to go out and buy a house. Now, we live in Canada, and things happen like this in Canada. If you don't have a house, then, you, in your circle, you may not be considered successful. Now, Georgina and I have always been kind of on the outside of things, both separately and since we're together, and we like odd things. So we bought this cottage for us, which is in the Kawartha Lakes, as you know, if you watch the channel. And the thing about our cottage, and we call it our cottage, we're not on the water, not really, no, but we're very close to the water, like a 6-minute car ride, a fairly long walk, and I could walk down to the water and be standing right on a lake. And so, yeah, we're well looked after for water and fishing and that kind of stuff. And maybe later this year, we will do a catch and drive. I'm going to try and do where we take the 50 Meteor, okay, which is our summer fun car, the 50 Meteor, and maybe we'll take that Meteor and we will go for a drive, and I'll pack the fishing rods and the gear and a little bit of bait, and probably dig the bait right out of our garden here, because we have a pretty nice garden with lots of worms. And so we'll dig in the morning I'll get you up and take the camera out with me, and I'll dig the worms, and then we'll put that in the worm can, take over to the water, And because Georgina and I are both over 65, I'm not supposed to tell people that, but yeah, I'm over 65. If the game warden or fishing warden comes along, and I know one of them anyway, and she's a very nice person, very nice at answering my questions when I have questions and that. But because we're over 65 in Canada, we don't need a fishing license. We don't even need to register as far as I know. And so we're going to go fishing without a license. But we may do like a catch and cook right there on the side of the lake or river, wherever we end up. And I'll have my barbecue with us, and we'll clean it, and we'll catch it, clean it, and cook it right here on the show, which will be fun, I hope, for everybody. Now, there may be sections where I'm going to say to you, in the next section, if you have a queasy stomach, you know, you may want to pass on a few minutes in the video and miss this next section. And I'll try and give you a time how much minutes you should jump ahead. But you know what? I'm nice about things like that. Today, you don't have to jump ahead because I am only making right now I'm making onions, and the onions are going to go into our breakfast for this Good Friday morning. I hope everybody's having a good Friday. I was just out. Friday mornings here for us is garbage day. So yesterday I thought, well, I don't know, maybe I'll put it out. I looked down the street when I was putting it out. Yeah, everybody else had theirs out. So I thought, well, yeah, okay, I'll put our recycle out because I have a little bit of recycle to put out. And lo and behold, this morning I got up and went out there, and all of my recycle was gone, and all of my, I had put 5 clear bags of cat litter. Not that our cats poop and pee a lot, but, and there wasn't, like, they're not full bags. But, yeah, I don't get them out when it's really, really cold. I'm at that age where things can wait a little bit. And so, yeah, they waited a couple of weeks. And so last night I put out 5 bags of cat litter. And when I went out this morning, lo and behold, 5 bags of cat litter. All of my bottle recycling for the water bottles was gone. All my plastic, so to speak. So yeah, I thought that was just great. When I got out there, my recycle bin was empty on the side of the road, and I was able to pick it up and put it on the back of my truck and bring it in. So it's now half full again. I had some more stuff that I couldn't put in because the recycle box was kind of full. So yeah, we're doing well. We're getting caught up here with a few things. Always good to get caught up. This being the long weekend for most people, not much going on. Most things are closed. I think tomorrow there'll be a lot of stores open, Saturday, but mostly Monday will be closed, and Good Friday, which will be today, a lot of people. But you know what? Some things will be open on Monday. Some things will be open on Friday, today. But you know what? We don't have to go anywhere today. We're going to take this weekend off, and we're not going to go anywhere. We may do a few family things, depending on what the family's thinking, you know. But yeah, that's the way it's going. So I hear Georgina getting up. And so basically, she'll be on here very shortly and talking with me. And I have the onions coming along pretty good, as you can see. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye for now. So I'm back, and I happen to have this beautiful red pepper that I picked up at our Farm Boy store. Thank you, Dale, for having some of the best stuff that I've seen in years in your store. All your produce and everything is so good. So there is a big shout out to Dale at Farm Boy. You're doing such a wonderful job, my friend. And we love talking with you when we're there for sure. missed you the last couple of times we've been in. I shouldn't say couple, quite a few times, but that doesn't mean anything. So what I'm doing is cutting right beside the ribs that I've got to trim out. And so basically what I'm going to do is just take my big knife here, get in and take that white rib out. And I have to watch with the big knife because it kind of hooks in extra heavy sometimes. But it is very sharp. And as you can see, I'm being extra very careful with it. And just taking that little white rib out. I don't know if that white rib is actually edible. Some people may say, oh yeah, I would eat that. And I don't see why not, actually. But we tend to cut them out. Just our preference. And yeah, there it goes. There's that one. And so what I'm doing is just ribbing right now. And then I'm going to chop some. Oh, you know what I did? I did the same thing that I did the other day when we were doing the other eggs in the morning. See, this just pops right out and gone. And then I'm just going to chop this up. But what I was supposed to be doing here, and I didn't do, was I was supposed to be making rings to cook my eggs in. And, oh, that's lovely. So I'm going to just bag this up to use later. And I'm going to go back and get another pepper. This is terrible. Sorry, people. Not what I intended at all. Anyway, so there we are. Part of it is sort of not done. And I'm going to go right now and get myself another red pepper. So here we go. I've got myself another pepper, and I'm still giggling about the other one. But you know what? I really don't mind this at all. So now what I'm going to do is reach in, take out this core. There is all the seeds. And look at that. There's one even starting to grow. So yes, you could start to grow a pepper from. I'm going to set that aside. Now, what my intent was of the other previously cut one was that I should cut 1/2-inch slices like this. Okay. Now, Georgina and I will be having a fabulous breakfast in minutes. And if anybody caught me doing the onion rings and eggs the other day, you'll know exactly what I'm doing. But these are pepper rings and eggs. Okay, so now ordinarily, you would have this piece and this piece left over to chop for filling the internals. But we're going to do something different again, not just that. And so you'll have to hang in. I'm just cutting out the little white sections here. And these are much easier to cut, by the way, when you do it like this. Much easier to get right into that little hole area and cut them out. So now we've got 4 rings out of this one pepper. It's a pretty good sized pepper, believe me. So this is a red bell pepper. Don't know exactly where it's from, but somewhere here in Canada, I believe. Can't remember what it said when I bought it, but primarily we buy Canadian anyway. It's not something that's, you know, like a protest or anything like that. We just tend to buy what's local because I find it fresher. And we have a number of places around here that grow greenhouse-wise year-round, which is just fine with us. We're used to that. One of the things that really kind of gets Georgina and I when we're down in the States, because we used to spend a lot of winters in the U.S., mainly in California. We had a place there we bought, and we no longer have it. And but what we would do when we were there, we noticed that when we go to restaurants, they would use beans, canned beans from Canada. And it was like it was a delicacy. And it's funny because Georgina and I both like the beans, but canned beans are not something that we like because we're used to having the beans in in a more very fresh variety. Even in the winter time, we have fresh. So having canned beans was like, excuse me, why are you doing? I guess probably because of the transport. But I guess they have, and I know that California is full of fresh beans. You know, they grow them there too, probably both in hothouses and, you know, in the gardens. I mean, it's there, it's everywhere. So we just didn't understand why they would like to take, but I guess it's a treat maybe, you know, to know that they're grown in Canada and canned in Canada. And thank you, you know, for recognizing our country. I noticed that our stores are not lacking for food lately. My son was saying that over Pickering area that he was noticing a little bit of slacking on the shelves. However, at the same time, that Pickering area that he lives in is very, very populated. And so, yeah, it could possibly happen that you wouldn't have stuff at your store, that's for sure. Okay, so I'm going to continue on with this process. Hang in for a minute.
So, our smart idea for today is putting the meat right actually in the pepper ring itself. So what you can see me doing right here is that I've rolled and shaped the sausage meat into a small ring, and I've placed it on the outside of the pepper. And you got to be kind of careful how you handle these things because they have a tendency to want to not stay together.
The tube falls out of the tire. My grandfather used to have the same problem way back. My great-grandfather was an engineer, and they used to talk about the tires falling off of the wheels on the steam engine. And what it was in the summertime when it was really, really hot. The tires would get warm from pulling the load, and the outer rings, which would be the tire portion of the wheel, would get expanded, and they would actually fall right off the driving wheel inside. And so he told me a story about having to put them back on, building a wood fire out in the middle of nowhere, and putting the tire back onto the rim, and then soaking it with water from the boiler. And I'll tell you, he went and got potatoes from a woman who was probably a mile or two away. His father saw a light from standing on top of the train in the middle of the night. And he said, "You see that light, boy?" He says, "You go over and talk to the woman that's at that house and see if you can get a bag of potatoes." And they cooked the potatoes in the boiler on the train while they were putting the tires back onto the wheels. Here comes Georgie with another one. Success. Success, another one in the pan. So she actually makes a long snaky looking thing like we used to make with plasticine when we were kids. And then she forms that into the inside of the ring of red pepper. So these are red bell peppers that I picked up at Farm Boy this week. I told you that already.
And the sausages are leek, feta,
and they're
olive.
made.
So in case you see a hunk of something black in here, it's not bad. It's the olive.
It's the olive. And these also were made at our Farm Boy store.
And that's the original Farm Boy, which is not related to the stores of the same name that have recently opened across Ontario. So it is of the same name, but because of being grandfathered in, of course, it takes precedence over the new chain, and so they're still using the same name. So that is Farm Boy in Peterborough on Lansdowne.
And your dealer's name there is Dale. Thank you, Dale, for being such a wonderful person. Okay.
So, of
So I'm
course,
gonna-
we will go on
I'm
until
going- I'm
all
going
8
to-
of these rings are done.
I'm going to cut away right now, and we'll be right back. You can hear them frying and sizzling. These are just starting up now on the sizzle. The heat is just coming on. So we'll be back. I'll let you see this a little bit later. Is there anything you want to say, Georgina?
No, they're looking pretty good.
She says they're looking pretty good. She's a happy girl. Here we've already flipped it to the second side, and you can see what we pulled off at for the first side. It's looking real good. They were hard to flip, we're going to admit that, because they were loose on the inside. So our inside wheel has actually shrunk a little bit away from the outside ring.
So that's the eggs that we're going to pour into the centers of the rings. So I will launch these back into the frying pan.
All being placed very carefully. You'll notice that the tires are no longer connected to the wheels here. But once the egg is in here, this will all connect up.
We like challenges here. So right now we're pouring the egg into any of the openings left in the rings.
So these are just 2 eggs that have been beaten, and we're going to be doing a couple of these rings. So therefore, if we need more eggs beaten, we can just grab a couple more eggs and beat them up. But that's the first 2 eggs put in, and we're going to probably beat a few more eggs up right now. So we'll be back.
To it. So here I am about to assemble things, and so I'm going to give a nice healthy sprinkling of mixed cheddar. You can do cheese or not, it's certainly up to you. You can even do vegetarian cheese for people who aren't particularly interested in anything eggish. So I'm putting that on, and then I'm getting the lovely prepared ring, which I will center. Don't want that to look naked. And I'll put just a little sprinkle of cheese on that. And I will put that in the microwave for about 1.5 minutes. This is what's for brunch today. You can see that we've done the ring thing, but instead of onions, we've used peppers. And inside of that ring was a ring of sausage meat that was feta and olives, and very delicious. And then there is the mixture of onions and peppers that were chopped up and put underneath the ring, with a layer of mixed cheddar shredded cheese and it's being served with wedges of fresh avocado and pear.
Okay, so you can see now that I have been into it. Oh yes, and we definitely added another one because I know I'm hungry. But there's what I've eaten so far, and I'm going to tell you something. This is good. Now, this sauce right here, this is called Hatch. And we just got this the other day at the store. And there it is right there. See if we can focus in on that label. It's a jalapeno Hatch. And I'm going to tell you something. It is wonderful. Okay, that's what's for breakfast today.